You ever feel like the league is trying to hand you a storyline, and your gut just goes, nah, something's off? That's what today feels like, because the biggest award in football isn't supposed to be about sentiment. It's not a nice story trophy. It's not a farewell tour or age or nostalgia. It's value. Simple. Brutal. The kind of value you see when protection breaks down, when the internal clock is screaming, when everybody in the building knows what's coming, and you still deliver it anyway. Touchdowns are loud. Efficiency is quiet. And there's a kind of dominance that doesn't pop the same way in highlight reels. Processing fast, placing the ball right, making clean decisions when the play is turning into chaos. When you actually measure that with numbers that account for context and opponent quality, the cute narrative starts to splinter, quickly. Before we even get into the names, just sit with what this means for Foxborough, for the locker room, for how defenses line up when they see us on the schedule. This isn't only a trophy debate, it's a respect debate. ESPN finally moved, and they said out loud what Patriots Nation has been saying the whole time. Drake Maye is the 2025 NFL MVP. 8 of the 11 staffers making that selection leaned Maye. Not because it felt good, because the numbers hit you right in the chest. Start here. Maye led the league in QBR at 77.1. Not in the conversation, not near the top, clear number 1. Jordan Love sits at 72.8. Matthew Stafford is at 71.1. And when you translate that into points above average, it's the same picture. Maye alone at the top, with Stafford down in 3rd. That matters because it punches a hole in the biggest knock people kept trying to hang on him. Soft schedule. QBR and its derivatives adjust for opponent quality, so that excuse doesn't hold the way people want it to. Now the part that should make every Patriots fan lean back for a second. Accuracy. Maye's completion percentage was 72%, best in the league. And NFL Next Gen Stats had him at plus 9% completion percentage over expected, the best single-season number in that metric's history going back to 2016. Just pause on that. Best since they've been tracking it. And then you look at how he got there, and it's honestly the part that makes it hard to argue against. He did it while getting hit. 47 sacks in the regular season. 47. Stafford took 23. Maye lived under pressure and still played like the pocket was clean. Then the playoffs show up, and it keeps going. 15 more sacks across 3 games. Clean pockets weren't the norm. They were the exception. So when people bring up touchdown volume, Stafford's 46 to Maye's 31. Yeah, that's a real stat. No one's pretending it isn't. But value isn't just volume. Value is what you do when everything around you is cracking. Maye kept the Patriots afloat, kept the offense functional, and he added the mobility element too, another weapon that matters in today's NFL. If that doesn't scream most valuable, what are we even doing? And the reason this gets heavier is because the next part of the day ties straight into the Super Bowl. Not in a fluffy way, in a physical way, in a can you breathe in the pocket way. The Super Bowl doesn't start in the huddle, it starts in discomfort. That moment when the quarterback realizes the first read isn't there, the second one isn't there either, and the clock doesn't care. That's where games turn into nightmares. That's exactly where the Patriots defense wants to drag Seattle. Picture it for a second. Big field, deep roots, a quarterback who wants rhythm. Looks beautiful on paper, until somebody disrupts the timing. Until the pass comes out half a beat late. Until the ball hangs just a little. Defenses live on that half beat. Half a second. Now we can talk names. Christian Gonzalez has been a problem, an actual problem, for quarterbacks all season. He's allowed only 44.6% of passes thrown his way to be completed. 44.6. League average is 64.3%. That's not pretty good. That's suffocating. That's the kind of number that makes an offense rewrite its plan before kickoff, and he didn't get that number by ducking anybody. He missed the first 3 games with a hamstring issue, came back, and still put up a career-high 69 tackles with 10 pass breakups. Around the ball, physical, confident. And even without a regular season interception, quarterbacks learned fast that the window isn't what they think it is. Then the moment shows up that everyone remembers. AFC Championship. Tight game, maximum pressure. Gonzalez comes up with the game-clinching pick against Denver. That's not just a highlight. That's a swing that ends a season for somebody else. But the trap isn't only outside. It squeezes from the middle too. Milton Williams has been a wrecking ball up front. 57 postseason pressures, 5th highest since tracking began in 2009. That's not one hot game. That's consistent pocket collapse. And Williams said it straight. He puts the game on the defensive line. If Sam Darnold is comfortable, he can make every throw. So the job is to get back there, speed him up, move him off the spot, and force him to put the ball in harm's way. Put those two realities together, and it gets nasty. Gonzalez taking away a side, Williams crushing the pocket. What does that do? Darnold has to hold it a fraction longer. And that fraction is exactly where a pass rush turns into turnovers. There's also a layer here that makes everything feel heavier. Drake Maye is listed as questionable, right shoulder injury and illness. He missed practice Friday, and Mike Vrabel downplayed it, saying Maye would have practiced if he weren't sick. Still, that listing matters. Because if the offense isn't at 100% at any point, the defense has to carry even more weight. It turns into a trench game, a stress test, a fight for air. And that's why this next stat hits so hard. Because it doesn't only tell you Gonzalez is good, it tells you he can bend an entire game plan. There are stats you don't see in commercials. You see them in meeting rooms, door closed, remote in hand. And the sentence every quarterback hates lands like a brick. Don't throw over there. That's when a game starts to tilt. Before you even say the number out loud, think about the psychological effect. You walk into the biggest stage in the world, and part of the field already feels like forbidden territory. Reads get shorter, progressions speed up. The mistake stops being if and starts becoming when. Defenses love that squeeze. Now the number again. 44.6% completion rate allowed into Gonzalez's coverage. Still way below league average. Attacking him is basically betting against the math. And the scary part is, he didn't need regular season interceptions to dominate. He won with positioning, timing, closing speed, denying space. He played 14 games, came back from the hamstring, finished with 69 tackles and 10 pass breakups, both career highs. That's not just coverage, that's tackling, that's finish, that's willingness. A corner who only covers is valuable. A corner who covers and ends plays is a different kind of problem. Strategically, here's what doesn't get enough attention. If Seattle avoids Gonzalez, the offense gets more predictable. The field shrinks. Route combinations repeat. And that feeds what the Patriots have always been great at when the stakes rise. Adjusting on the fly, closing doors one by one. Even with Seattle sitting as the betting favorite as of January 31st, the Patriots have the tools to win this. They do. And Gonzalez is a major reason. Because when a corner can dictate the map, you don't get to live in your clean Plan A offense anymore. So keep that in your head. If Gonzalez keeps playing at that standard, Seattle has to win the Super Bowl outside its comfort zone. That's a brutal ask. Because now it all connects. Pressure, coverage, and one physical detail that can swing the final script. Some games come down to talent. Some come down to a physical detail. And some come down to both crashing together at the worst possible moment. The Super Bowl doesn't forgive weakness, it hunts it. You can feel the scene without even trying. Linemen breathing heavy, the quarterback searching for space that isn't there, receivers winning half a step and losing it instantly. That's where bad decisions get born. Not because you can't play, because you're forced to play faster than you want to. And when pressure comes in waves, everything changes. Milton Williams has become the heartbeat of this defense. 57 postseason pressures, 5th most since 2009. That's not noise, that's a pattern. That's winning even when the opponent knows you're coming. That's collapsing the pocket and breaking the geometry of the play. With Gonzalez erasing part of the perimeter, that pressure becomes even more dangerous. Coverage forces hesitation. Hesitation invites the rush. The rush forces the ball out into tight windows. Now layer Maye back on top. Questionable, shoulder, illness, practice missed. Vrabel saying he's not worried, that Maye would have been out there if he wasn't sick. But that listing shifts the mental weight of the game. If the offense has to be more controlled at any point, more run game, fewer risky shots early, the defense has to be the engine, the shield, the emotional driver. This stops being who scores more. It becomes who holds up under stress, Who stays composed on 3rd and long? Who wins the line of scrimmage? Who forces the other team to blink first? And that's Patriots football at its core. Defense that bends an opponent's plan. Offense that executes when it matters. Stars that show up right when the game tries to slip away. So I'll ask you straight, Patriots Nation, is this defense enough to bring another banner back to Foxborough? Drop your take in the comments. I want the real debate. Hit like if you're riding with this team, make sure you're subscribed, and let's talk through it together right now.